Welcome back, everyone. I'm Link.
I'm Chris.
And today, we coming back with what we promised to do. We're going to install the Seinen Racing Products clutch kit today on our 2025 Polaris Boost. So follow along. All right, Dad, so what do we got in this clutch kit?
All right, well, we've got a bunch of parts here. Let's start off with this. We have the Seinen Racing Products custom big roller helix. So this is a multi-angle helix that we're going to install on the secondary clutch today. Second, we have a plastic Durlin washer that also goes into the secondary clutch. This is just to help prevent binding of your secondary spring. Talking about the secondary spring, we have a 175-240 Venom Products spring that goes in the secondary. So this is all for that. The primary, it's pretty simple. We have a 120 to 340. Now, I know you guys are thinking that's pretty light. There's a reason for that. We'll get into it in a little bit. This is the primary spring. And this here are turbo-specific 76-gram belly weights. Those are sure different looking than any other weights you've seen. Hey, buddy?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So these are the kind of this and in conjunction with this, and then the secondary is what makes this kit outperform everyone else's. All right, so we know what you guys are all thinking. You're like, hey, Chris and Link, why is Seinen Racing Products clutching so much better than everyone else's? Well, information we got right from the founder, Benjamin Seinen, good guy, by the way. This is what he explained to us, is that SRP uses a specific weight designed for a turbo application. So the tip of the weight is heavier than the factory 14 series weights. This weight acts snappy on the bottom end and pulls hard in the mid-range and the top end. Because of where the weight is distributed, it allows the use of a much different primary spring compared to all other companies out there. Most other weights are heel heavy, requiring around 165 pound or higher initial spring rate. These make it really hard to install, and they often break to the high initial spring rate. SRP uses an initial spring rate of only 120 pounds. Also, a simple trick to prolonging the life of your primary spring, which we will show you when we go to do the install, is to file down some of these sharp edges that are left over from the manufacturing process.
Okay, so now going on to the secondary. In the secondary clutch, a multi-angle helix, this one right here, is used instead of the stock straight 46-degree helix. It is used to load the sled correctly off bottom end and maintain a strong and consistent track speed on wide open pulls like going up Mount Everest.
Mount Everest?
Yes, because we need that. This helix helps backshift better, and it helps keep lower belt temps, unlike other clutch kits on the market. A different secondary spring is also used in conjunction with this new helix. Overall, this setup offers better bottom end, more track speed, and faster backshift to lower belt temps.
Yeah, so there you guys go. That's why we're going to try this one out.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to work really good.
Yeah, I think it will.
All right, let's get on with the install, bud.
All right, cool.
All right, well, if you guys have watched our other clutch kit install video, it's going to be very similar. So for this one here, we're going to take this cover plate off the primary clutch. We're going to remove the spring, and then we're going to change out these clutch weights. So these are 10 millimeter head bolts. You want to take off 4 of them and then leave the last 2 and take them off kind of evenly. Watch that this doesn't come flying off. You want it to come off straight. To take out the clutch weights, you've got a 1/8 inch hex on this side and a 3/8 inch nut on this side. And then you just do them one at a time. Make sure you pay attention to which way that the head and the nut are oriented in the clutch. You want to keep them all the same. Once we're done that, we move on to the secondary. We're going to have to pull this cover up and this cover down. And it's a 15 millimeter bolt head here to pull the secondary. Of course, you got to pull the belt and all that. So just follow along, and we'll show you guys on the bench how to do the secondary. But for now, let's get after this primary, Link. right, so a little tip for putting in your primary spring is you kind of want to file down these edges right here, okay? Because that's kind of a sharp edge. Like I can even feel it with my finger on both ends of the spring, right? And you don't want that catching and binding on the aluminum as that clutch is going in and out. Because if it does, it'll just lead to premature wear of your clutch and possibly break the spring. So you want to file that down with either a file, or if you got like a belt sanding machine or maybe a grinder or something like that. You don't want to dig into the coil of the spring. Just get that lip on that edge right there. So just kind of carefully kind of give her one of these, right? And just kind of file that so it's not going to grab and catch. So we're actually going to touch that with the grinder. But the other thing you can do is you want to make sure that you don't have any high spots on this flat edge. So we're just going to use a piece of emery cloth. I don't even know what grit this is. We're going to lay it flat on the steel bench, and we're just going to give her one of these. Right? And so that'll kind of take off any of the high spots in the powder coating of the spring. And then give it a little bit of a smoother transition while your clutch is going in and out. So there you go. You can see the high spots that it has taken off in the powder coat. So we'll do that a little bit more with another piece. And then we'll show you guys how we touch the edges of the spring with a grinder. Damn it. All right, so I'm just going to knock these two sharp edges off the spring with the grinder. So I'm just going to fire the grinder up, and I'm just going to carefully touch on the flappy disc. And here we go. That's it. So I'll just do the other side. That's good. Just going to touch this one just. Actually, you know what? No. They're both good. That's it. Let's go install this. Okay, so you guys saw in the time lapse we took the secondary out. It's very important when you take the secondary bolt out, there's washers and a spacer here that you keep these all in the, well, not necessarily the proper order, but the right ones on the bolt to space it out. Same with, there's a few spacers on this jack shaft that go behind the secondary. Make sure none of those get stuck to your secondary and they're all in place as well. Okay, so when we go to install this primary spring, we're going to put it in place. We're going to put the cover on. We're going to compress it, and then we're going to tighten down two bolts kind of as even as we can. Then we'll put the other four in, and then we'll torque it. All right, Link. So next, we're going to take apart the secondary clutch, and we're going to install the new secondary spring.
Oh, Dad.
We're going to install the secondary spring, this plastic washer, and the new SRP multi-angle helix. So these 4 bolts here, we've had this apart numerous times. Usually you have to heat them up with a torch because they've got Loctite on them. We're going to try and do it without the torch this time. And they are a T27. So pop those off. You can pull this helix out, and then you'll have to get yourself a spring compressor. Oh boy. You'll have to get yourself a secondary clutch compressing tool. We have a video on how you can make your own, so go check that out, everybody. And then we will, let's take this apart and put the new one in. So here we go. Oh boy.
That is tight on there.
Yeah. Let me grab a different Torx. Might have to put some heat to it, but we'll try this one instead. Well, that's not good. I guess we're going to put some heat to it, Link.
I guess so.
All right, Link. Well, I guess I did put Loctite on the last time, so we had to use the torch, heat that up, because we broke one of our T27s, and I didn't want to strip out the heads of the bolts. So, yeah, but this is the stock Helix, and we don't need this anymore. So if you come in here and look, buddy, we'll show everybody that. So now we have to compress this piece that has the rollers on it to get that snap ring out of there. I'm wearing gloves because it's hot from the torch. And once we get that snap ring out of there, we can lift this up, and then we'll take the spring out and we'll replace it with the new spring. So this is where our secondary clutch tool comes into play. Just put that on like that. And when you go to do this, you have to orientate it so that you can get your snap ring pliers in the side of the tool here. You don't want to have it. We got, oh, I can't get in there, you know. Give a little squirt of a weasel whiz.
A weasel whiz?
Yeah, weasel whiz.
Okay.
Just on the threads of this. Just come on. You never heard of weasel whiz? Come on. Okay, well, we call it weasel piss, but today I called it weasel whiz. So once you get this down, it doesn't take much to compress this to get that snap ring. That's it. It's coming back out is the long part. So snap rings out. And now we just kind of start to bring this up. Oh, was this where we were supposed to mark the threads? No, we'll mark it after. Show you guys a trick on how to mark the splines for, I said threads.
Yeah.
I meant the splines. We'll mark the splines for when you go to put it back together because there's a double spline in here. It just makes life easier if you can have it lined up before you put this down all the way. Holy. We should do this for a living, Link.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's be like snowmobile clutch mechanics.
Clutch kit mechanics.
Clutch kit mechanics. There you go. Okay, so this is the stock secondary spring. Don't ask me what that ratio is because I don't know. So come look in here, Lincoln. See here, Link, here's this gold cup. So we're going to take this cup out. This is where the plastic washer goes underneath that cup. So we're just going to put that right back in place. That just gives it a little bit more of an easier time to turn because when the secondary sheaves open and close, they actually twist a little bit, believe it or not. New spring. We're not going to worry about these edges on this spring here because this fits into the cup and then it's got the plastic washer underneath to take that up, and then this one will probably bite into the helix. So we have something to make that up, whereas in the primary we didn't. Oh, but before we do, so you can see, where is it? Right here, Link. Right here you can show the folks there's a double spline right there.
Yeah. So
we're going to mark a line. We're going to mark a line. It's not marking very good. We've got a different marker.
that's a good plan.
Yeah, I don't know why that one's not working. Let's try this one. So we're going to mark a line. It's nice and straight, eh?
Yeah, perfect.
So now when we go to compress that spring, we have a mark right here where that double spline will fit. So we know that we can line that up and we don't have to fight with it because otherwise it will be a fight. Geez, look at that, eh? Look how much taller that spring is.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, does this one have any markings on it? Nope, just black purple. But the new one is a 175 240 gold and black. Okay. So when you go to put this back in, we get our splines somewhat lined up. Don't forget to put your snap ring in before you put your compression tool back together. Because otherwise you got to take it all apart again. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Because I've seen other guys do it.
Oh.
Not me. I've never done it like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
All right. So now, this is the reverse order. Wow, that's such a tall spring. Look at how I'm glad I made the secondary clutch compression tool as big as we did. So now we're getting that started. Once we get very close to the splines, we'll try and line it up. Okay. So now, just trying to line that up as best as I can. So it goes on nice and square and straight. See if we get it first try, buddy.
I think we will. I hope.
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, cool.
Okay, now that's as far as we need to go so we can get the snap ring in place.
As he tries to grab the paper towel and the other spring.
Don't worry about that. Okay, this is just like, yeah, we got this. Okay, so now I'll push that down into its groove in the clutch. Snapped in place. That's exactly where it needs to be. There we go. So now all we got to do, bud, is we just got to put the new helix in place, and then we will put those bolts back in with a little bit of thread locker. We'll just hit them with the impact. I don't know what the torque spec is supposed to be. We'll just give them like maybe 1 or 2 ugga-duggas. Call it good. Slap this baby back together.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, there you go. We got the SRP secondary helix and spring and plastic washer in there. And we got the primary spring and weights in there. So we're just going to put the secondary back in, belt on, and that's it. We're done. So here we go.
All right, guys, the SRP clutch kit is installed, and Dad can't wait to bring this thing on the snow to try it out, and we'll let you know in a couple months. But thanks for watching, and
we'll see you guys in the next one.